Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to this channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play it as karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why everything's playing out the way that it is. That's important when you're dealing with people that, create facades. They create illusions because they wear masks. So we don't really understand why we feel one way, but then what they're showing us is something else. And a lot of times, whatever they're trying to do is whatever they're doing, they're deliberately triggering, right? So a trigger allows you to know what type of relationship that you're in. Now, a spiritual block is one that's psychological and emotional. So again, experiences that we've lived through is what creates these spiritual blocks. The thing is that we create habits and behaviorisms based on those blocks. So then we can't manifest what we want in our life and see the behaviorisms and habits that you formed to survive. And that's your inner child survival, psychological, emotional, even physical sometimes, will block you from thriving later on in life. Because again, it's a different state of consciousness. We have to know how to survive, but we're not supposed to conduct our life in that frame of mind. We're supposed to always be coming from a place of unconditional love, but you can't do that unless you are a clear conduit. And when I say clear conduit, it means that you're not holding on to any spiritual blocks, that you are clear for spirit to work through, that you are clear enough to see things from a higher perception, and that higher state of consciousness is always one that's derived from unconditional love. So it's always an experience that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's like whatever hardship that you've gone through, that there's a rainbow and the spiritual gifts on the other side, pretty much, because life is all about paradoxes. So there's good and evil, light and dark. So again, when we're talking about shadows, we're talking about those darker elements of ourselves. And we know that the only way to actually heal the effects of trauma is to transcend the limitations of our mind. And that means that we need to integrate certain spiritual blocks that we have that have been preventing us from moving forward, but we are unconscious to those blocks. So the universe brings us, again, our soul mates, whether that's a past life karmic mate, whether that's a soul mate, whether it's a life partner. There's all different types of soulmates. Well, again, this is one way that the universe helps us to create balance, the balance that we need. Now, the readings obviously have a therapy style to them. So know that there's explaining because sometimes the cards just don't explain. So I do that through channeling. However, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you need to write the word of the video, and the word of the video I do pull from a deck. So it's a mixture between channeling. Oh, that just flipped over, so we need to take it. The word of the video is virtue, virtue. Obviously, virtue is of a higher consciousness. It's coming from a place of where you're really where you would be clear, like where you're balanced. Really, that's what it is, being able to see things from a balanced perception. So I feel like you're in a place where you're really being fair with yourself and this person. I feel like you're in separation from this person, and they did a lot of things that sabotage this connection. They did a lot of things to you to make you not trust them. And so I feel like instead of you hating this person, instead of you being mean to this person and beating this person up, because I'm feeling they're going to come back into your life. And I don't know why I haven't pulled cards yet, but I was channel in the beginning. It's like I feel like they're going to come back, and there's a part of you that's like is really conflicted on how to deal with this person. And what Spirit is saying is you need to deal with this person from a higher perspective, regardless of what you do. And it's because they're in a low vibration. So that means that they're insecure. So if you don't handle them correctly, they have the power to like spread rumors about your name. They'll again be vindictive. You won't be able to get rid of them. It's almost like they feed on they feed on the drama. And part of you detaching from this person has triggered abandonment inside of them because everyone leaves. Nothing ever works out. They don't believe that they're lovable. They don't, and they do things that are in alignment with that core belief. So I don't know what they did. We're going to find out. But there's a sense that the way that you handle this person is with virtue, that you have to like look at it really through the lens of unconditional love. So you have to look at things from a spiritual perspective, that you're dealing with someone that's really spiritually blocked. So you're not gonna you're gonna say, why does this person, instead of trying to like work things out with me, they put so much effort into trying to get underneath my skin, trying to trigger me. Yes, to try to get you to react because they are not capable of emotionally being transparent. That's why. But this is the underlining energy, virtue. It was more of a message for you, which tells me that this person is going to come back. Yeah, so it's felt to be again grounding, grounding, like make sure that you're grounded. So let's do things a little bit backwards and let's see, like again, what the hidden truths are. Like normally I wouldn't pull to see what the hidden truths are. I would be pulling differently, but I want to see like what is this person actually not even. Let's look at these other cards. Because it sounds like almost like it's a very spiritual connection. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's one where there is feelings, but because this person doesn't know how to react to you, it's like, and they're not doing anything. They're getting extremely emotional. And that's the thing. So that one minute they'll get angry. The next moment they're like they're okay. The next moment they have anxiety. The next moment they're all over the place because it's your silence. It's the fact that you cut things off where I feel like this person doesn't know how to respond, but they're getting more and more anxious. And I do feel like to the point that they're getting uncomfortable, that they would reach out, that they would do something, but the way that they would do it, you would be like, what was that? It's like it's like gonna be not enough. It's gonna be like whatever they're doing, it's like they're showing you that they're still not gonna be transparent with their feelings. So they're gonna do things like give you like little breadcrumb again, where you're supposed to realize that this person wants to talk to you, or they're going to bump into you and like deliberately start an argument, like say something like where it's because this person doesn't know how to handle this situation because you're not doing anything. Like you've cut the silence. It's giving them a lot of anxiety from a different deck. Okay. I'm tired of being away from you physically. I'm trying to process my fear so I can come back to you. And that's exactly what I felt. I felt like this person's going to get so uncomfortable. So it's the message is really for you, which is you don't really know how to deal with them. It's like because of everything that they did and the fact that they stayed away. They're really immature. I feel like they played a lot of games. I miss you. Let's both stop running away. I feel like this person does miss you. There are messages being exchanged through music and movies. Listen carefully and trust what you hear. I feel like this person feels like they're being guided back to you. Please don't give up on me. I'm trying to change, but it takes time. This person, that's exactly what I felt. I felt that. So, but before we actually see what they're going to do, let's see what they did. I feel like I'm missing a take from a different deck. Too many cards all over the place that I don't want to. All right, let's see what they did. Rocky, like the whole time that you were in a connection with them, it was never smooth. They never made you feel comfortable. You always felt like they weren't putting in enough effort. Or if they were putting enough effort in, they were making sure that you knew it and that they like expected it back. It never, there was a lot of expectation. I think that there was a lot of expectation on your part as well as this person's part, where I feel like this person sold themselves to be someone that they weren't, so you had expectations. But the whole time, relationships are rocky when two people are, like have expectations and want to like control the relationship to make the relationship meet their expectation. And then what happens is that this person would feel as if you were trying to control them, and you would feel like if you gave in, that you were giving up too much of your power. So it's almost like this unnecessary power struggle where the relationship just was always rocky. And so you got to a point where, like, I feel like both of you were, is this worth it? Is this worth it? Is this worth it? Because it was a connection, but when there's fear and that fear hasn't been healed, what happens is that both parties like become more like it's not that you shouldn't take care of your own energy, but became more hypersensitive about what the other person was going to do. And so that was putting both people in a place of almost like paranoia, where everyone then began to trigger everyone, like, which now no one's looking at anything the way that it is meant. And it's because how things are coming across are not really the way they are meant to be came across, like to be understood, to be taken in as. I feel like behaviorisms and habits got in the way of that, where again, you might be someone that gets really, really nervous and you'll keep asking the same question, where this person is like, I don't, that's a question that I need to sit and think about for a long time to come up with really what I feel. And feel like you would take that personally. I also feel like this person wasn't comfortable with just going deep right away. There's someone that has a lot of trust issues. So they were trying to talk to you and open up, but you always felt like they were surface. Where if you would have given the time to this person, they would have again felt more comfortable to open up, like and transparent. So almost a way of you being like, you need to show me what you need to show me in order for me to feel safe, and that this person was doing the same exact thing, which again, that becomes really uncomfortable, where the relationship's all about games. Then that's what you feel like, where it's like it's never easy. Like you make it difficult, and you feel like the person is like again childish. It's like becomes tit for tat. And then, you felt like you couldn't really be as transparent with them, and they couldn't really be as transparent with you. So now you're creating intimacy problems because they're secrets. You're not really going to, because they're not making you feel comfortable because they're being childish. So you don't trust them. So what we see here is a second chakra imbalance of trust, um, balance, trust, and what it comes out to as in control, but I'm expecting you to act a certain way. And if you don't, I'm going to cut myself off to you emotionally. So it's abandonment. It's abandonment really of self, not just this person, because you're saying, I know what you're going to do before you do it. Where instead of you saying, like, you're making it like you can't persuade that. It's like you can persuade it, just not the way that you're going about doing it, is what spirit is saying. It's like, and it's the fact that you try to control, where instead control your life, where you emotionally get what you need for yourself so that you can set appropriate boundaries, so that you can have good discernment, so you're not so close up to the picture, so that it's not that you are intuitively wrong. You are wrong because of how you deal with that person, that's difficult person, and is what spirit is saying. And we only say that for people that obviously this is an important connection where there is love. For people that just come into your life that act like jerks, that don't bring anything to the table, that you don't feel any soul connection to, you wouldn't want to figure it out. This is a soul's connection. However, this is a person that's on a much lower vibration than you are. And what spirit is saying is it's like it's not an all or nothing. You giving to this person almost feels like, well, if I give in to that person, then it's like you feel like you're going down the rabbit hole, right? It's that you're just, the more I give, the more I need, the more that I want, the more that this person devours me and they don't give anything back to me, which is the fear, which is why you're saying, I'm expecting them to look to do a certain thing. And really, Spirit's saying is like, the way that you do that is not by the way that you're doing it. The way that you do it is by giving it to yourself. Because that person will eventually see a lot of other people that are going to want to give it to you. And you're going to look around and say, well, I could be with you, or I could be with you. You over here gives me a lot, pours a lot into me, gives me a lot. This person again that's holding back from you is holding back because they have a blocked heart chakra. They've been hurt before, they've lost a lot before. There's a million excuses. Okay, and none of them are okay when you get into a relationship with someone new, because what you're doing then is you're bringing all that baggage from the previous relationship into your new relationship. And this is really what it is. So where that's what you were correct about seeing with this person, but it's not an all or nothing thing. If it's a soul's connection and you're still are like, I still have a connection to this person and still have feelings for this person. Why is there still a cord? Like when I know that they're not good for me, I know that they're not, I don't want to be with them. Where Spirit's saying it's like they're spiritually imbalanced. And I feel like whether you want to be with them or not, it's always to handle them like through that lens of unconditional love, because they have nothing to work with. You know what I mean? If you're kind, they can't turn it around on how you're reacting to them. Like, oh, you're not with me because of this, or you're trying to like control. What you're doing is you're really releasing them with unconditional love. And that instead of trying to control. Then when you release that person fully, they're gonna feel that that again, they're gonna feel alone. It's like that spiritual connection is no longer there when you release a person. Because when you release them fully, your then mind and emotions are going towards something else. And that person can feel it. Doesn't that like they no longer feel you. They no longer feel another presence. And what they feel is alone. And what they feel is all of their blocks that were there before they met you. They were there all through the time that they met you, but you were a distraction. You were a distraction, which is like from them is what I feel. Because this person like wasn't able, they were never able to step it up to the person that they promised that they would be. They would make promises, they would never keep those promises. So their character alone, like, just never changed. And it was like they may break your heart, but not your spirit. And that's really what happened. And that's what you want to show this person, because there is a sense of anger and there is a sense of how dare you treat me with such disrespect. And I do like almost like you do want to say something to this person without again coming across badly. And really what spirit says is really that's the way. It's like you're still kind and gracious regardless of the person that the person broke your heart. However, they weren't able to break your spirit, and in that your heart will recover. You're strong enough then to still invest in yourself and go out into the world and meet someone new, right? It's again like a lot of times with these people that are on such a low vibration and then that are angry, that have a very false sense of what love is. Like, how they win is not by the fact of anything except for I know that you're waiting for me. I know that you're waiting for me. And in that energy of like cockiness and self-righteous, and then they act coy, it's like that smugness is really that lower energy, which again really just covers up like how broken they are. But understand you wouldn't have attracted this person into your life unless you too were not were fragmented. They have a bad way. Again, how you feel it is that they left the situation in ruins, like in ruins. And I feel like they did because it's almost like they burnt the relationship to the ground. So it's like that, which is why Spirit's saying is like you have to handle this from the best way. You have to stay grounded because it's almost like a spiritual test. And if there is a connection, where I'm feeling like this person's going to want to come back into your life. I said that I knew that because we pulled for it. It's like this person, but it's emotionally. I'm like, do they know? Do they? I wonder what the hidden truths are. Like if this person was like not willing to settle down, there's still parts of them that have a hard time with the whole settling down part, which is what I feel like this person's big argument really was, why this relationship really didn't work out, because this person really didn't want to be with one person. They didn't want to be committed. They didn't want to be responsible for anyone. They didn't want to be committed to anyone. They didn't want to be, so it didn't matter what it was. It could be, God forbid you wound up in the hospital. They didn't want to have to be responsible to take you, to call you, to do anything. They didn't want to be responsible to have to just call you every day, just to date. They didn't want to have to be held responsible. And where you kind of felt like this person that I feel like they would go into isolation, but there was also a sense that you felt alienated from them, their entire family, their life, that they might have stayed in your life, but they didn't invite you into their life. So you felt isolated from that. But I also feel like this person would actually go into isolation, and that's because I feel like they just needed a lot of alone time. I feel like relationships are not easy for this person. We will be together again. So this person actually believes on some level. I look for you everywhere. See, so there's like there's part of this person that, like I said, would love to bump into you, would love to bump into you, to come face to face with you. And I don't know whether they know exactly how they would deal with you, but they want to see what reaction you give to them. Yeah, they know that you would prefer a phone call. See, they don't realize that it's all these little things that they do and that they did to strategize the relationship to like act like they didn't care about you that ruined the connection, which is why Spirit's saying it's like you're angry because this connection could have been a good connection, that they sabotaged the connection and they never cared about how they made you feel. They might have been in your life a long time, but they didn't contribute anything to your life. They're missing you because you contributed to their life because you were genuine. You were transparent with them. You did give them. So you're actually like, okay, fine. You don't want this, and you released yourself. So that's why this person is still is upset because they never thought that you were going to let go. They like you did what no one ever did. So they don't really know how to handle this. You put them in a situation like that where they don't feel comfortable just coming by your house. See, they used to have free access to you. There's a sense that they know that you don't want them to come near you. They know this. They know how you're acting. And it's like because you're always coming from a place of virtue, you really are coming from that place already. But I'm telling you, this person's going to come into your life and they're going to try and trigger you. They're still immature, they're still childish, and they still haven't learned certain spiritual things, but it doesn't mean that they don't miss your presence from their life. You know, you and I were too young. They're still too young. That's what they're going to chalk it up to. That I will wait for a sign from you again, hoping that you will reach out to them. They don't want to be the one where I don't feel like you're reaching out to them. And really, the more time that they waste, the more that you're like seeing this person more and more for who they truly are. And you're like, I don't like, and you're angry over it because you're like, wow, you're just so immature. Like almost like you're disgusted. I wish I had treated you better. Yeah, now they do because it's like they're looking at themselves because of the way that they treated you, and they know that they acted superior, you know. And now it's like the universe is telling them. It's like they can feel it. They know it. They know how they treated you was wrong. They know that they didn't give you anything, and so they're manic, and that's why you said this person doesn't exactly know what they're going to do, but they do know. They're like all over the place, and like you said, I feel like they they're not confident. They're not confident at all, and like they're like this is person's normally detached, and so normally they don't have feelings. So being that they have feelings and they feel those feelings, and there's a bunch of different feelings because they need a lot of healing, and you're triggering a lot of like spiritual blocks that they have. So again, they're 1 minute they're angry, the next minute they're like in love, the next second they think they're getting back together, the next second they want to like yell at you. Well, I feel like when you bump into this person, they're almost gonna want to say something to get underneath your skin to get you to react. Don't react. Don't react because this person like feeds off. It's the way that they don't have to express themselves. It's like, and really at this point, they have to say, they have to say what they feel, and really what they feel is that they love you. So it's again, then that's the hidden truth. But there's a sense of they don't really know how to fix this. They don't really know what, and it's actually good because it's making this person think. It's making them like look at their shadows. It's making them work through things. It's a very uncomfortable space for them right now. But they have feelings. They have feelings. I wanna see what are they going to do. I feel like they're just going to come towards you. This is what I feel like, that they're just going to come towards you out of nowhere. But is there anything that we should know? Yeah, it's again, what do they say? It's going to be impulsive. Um, they're just gonna like reach out. They don't know when, but when, because it's manic energy and so emotional, feeling all these different emotions. And the more that you detach from this person, well, the more that you trigger them, the more that they're again wanna bump into you, looking for you everywhere, right? So that they can, bump into you, so that they can see you, to see like, do you still have feelings for me? Like, can I rectify this? I don't know whether I can rectify this. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Really, but what we haven't seen is we have never seen this person once say, I'm sorry. So it's almost like they've never apologized a day in their life for anything. So it's almost like they don't know how to deal with this. Like you're really making this person like humble themselves, like, and that they don't do that. They don't like, and that's really what they're wrestling with. They're wrestling with their own ego. So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? Ooh, well, you know what? Being that those came out, I'm gonna take them because I never believed that there was any mistakes. Okay, so three fell out, and then we're gonna pull one, two, three. All right, six, six cards. Okay, space, oppressive, water, security and safety, and love. I believe that again, you grew up in an environment where you didn't really feel safe. It wasn't really that feelings of security and safety, which happen when you have, parents that make you feel that way. And so I feel like parent was angry, their marriage would like wasn't the best. It's like when it came to communicating, and so there was a lot of like fighting and arguing, and so you dealt with angry parents. One displayed it like on the outside, and the other might not have. Didn't matter if they were divorced or separated. You dealt with both of them, and when you dealt with both of them, it was pretty much the same type of energy, which affects like your second chakra. And the second chakra is your emotional center. And it represents um, your individuality. To be able to go with the flow of life is through your unique individuality, the meaning like your passions, things that stir up your soul, like what makes you you, what is the flavors of you. And that could be, well, I really like my culture, so I do things that connect me to my culture. Oh, I really like spirituality, so I do things that are, that connect me to my soul. I like, dancing, so I invest my time in dancing. It's like whatever it is where you lose yourself, what you just love, what calls to you. So understand, I believe that that was affected, and how it was affected was it was oppressed, like if somebody kept you down. That's and so really you didn't feel loved. You didn't feel loved. And so the here we have like space where spirit says, so you didn't, as a child, you didn't really go out and explore to find who you truly are. Now you may have gone to school and you're like the best at what you do, or you love your job, but there's so many different elements of you, so many versions of you that you haven't even met yourself, is what Spirit's saying. So, like, you use the space, it's an empty canvas. It's to go and find yourself without anyone, without being connected to anyone, because this person they're not going to make you feel safe. They're not going to make you feel secure. It's like that's what you know. It's like, and you also know that they're on a lower vibration, that they're insecure, and the way that they, try to manipulate and keep you down and oppress you is by emotionally not giving you anything, which affects that emotional center. And so being with someone like that, it's like they teach you that like love is difficult, that love is hard. They don't know how to give love. Where you know how to give yourself love is what Spirit says, and says go out and create in the space, find yourself, try different things. This is an empty canvas. You can create whatever it is that you want. It's like it's having no experience, new experiences, I should say, will replay the experiences of the past. And the experiences of the past weren't really that great. You didn't have support, you didn't have security, you didn't have love. That's what it felt like. So that was the imprint. The imprint was, again, my my parents, they were self-involved with whatever problems that they had. Maybe it was just their relationship wasn't good, but they couldn't give to me. But they tried to control me. And they tried to control me through like my individuality, through that center is that. So it affected you. It affected you emotionally and it affected you spiritually, where Spirit says, well, that's the story of the past. It's about, you know, taking your time now and finding those other elements of yourself is why that happened. Otherwise, you're going to attract the same type of energy where, you feel like you have a person that comes into your life and they don't do anything. They don't give you security, safety, love. They're going to oppress you, try and control you. I mean, really, that's what oppression is, right? It's keeping you down, where Spirit says would be like the replaying the same exact thing that you grew up in. So we leave it off with two more. Two more from this deck, one more from this deck. Let's see. Pathfinder, you are on the right path, even when it feels like it's not most traveled. So you're creating your own way. So understand this person would come into your life and they would be telling you that you need to do it their way, whatever it is. If you're creating a job, whether or not you're finding yourself, whatever it is that you're trying to do to make yourself whole, this person would say you're not doing it the right way. And I feel like that was a reoccurring theme where growing up in an environment where they told you that you were supposed to be somebody different. And whether that was you needed to like learn differently, whatever it was that you were doing, Like you have your own style of doing things. So well, again, the person always wants to control you. And when you were younger, because you were told that it was the wrong way, even when it wasn't the wrong way, it just happened to be your way. You let other people come into your life and then do it for you. So you didn't trust yourself. So having someone like this come into your life, they can feel that again, that you take time and not insecure, as not secure as you should be within yourself. And they would again do the same exact thing. They would hold you down and take too much. Again, they wouldn't have a good sense of balance because they're not balanced, and that means fairness. Where Spirit's saying, no, you have to get rid of this person. Because as you grow, you heal. As you do things yourself, you find your way. It's not a wrong way, it's just your way. And that's again, and the universe, but the universe always makes a way where there is no way just for you. So no matter what the disability, what the perception, understand God says it's always happening. It may not be happening as fast as you want. It may not be happening the way that you want it to. But Spirit says you're not allowed to say how it manifests. You're only allowed to say what you want to manifest. And when you realize that, and you're actually co-creating, the universe is healing you because you're gaining trust and faith. It's a faith walk. So really Spirit's saying you need to let this person go because you're in the process of ascending life. Let go of who you were to realize who you are, release the past. And that means people that, play games and disrespect you and they don't want to acknowledge who you are, that they have to play all these little games. Release what's no longer serving you. Someone that's on a lower vibration that, that's a relationship that they would be codependent, that they would be jealous, that they would be a person that would put themselves in competition. And it's not because they don't have feelings. They have feelings, but they have too much like they need to do healing on themselves. Otherwise, you're not going to be happy in the connection. Creation, see, like Spirit saying that ascend life. Like you're on your path, like creating, regardless of what it looks like. Don't listen to anyone. Don't take this person back into your life because they will completely throw you off. This is, I have the power to direct my life. With a constructive attitude, I create what is best for my soul. I firmly believe I can transform and improve my inner and outer worlds by turning every thought into affirmation action. I act in the image of God and bring light into my life. So the Spirit's saying it's like you're on your path, you're creating, and that could be just creating your life, creating new experiences for yourself that are going to help heal you, you know, um, that you have to do what's best for you right now. And that means knowing that this person is going to come back into your life and that they're insecure and they're not going to even try and approach you the right way because they're still immature, but you handling it the right way so you can really release. And really why we want to do that is we want to be able to forgive and let go. When we are able to forgive and let go, we become that clear conduit for spirit to work through, right? When we have a spiritual block because we're angry and resentful, it's it interferes with how abundant we're going to be. It interferes with how much love we can let into our life. So this is why we want to take this opportunity and come from that higher state of consciousness, which is virtue, to deal with this type of person. Because as I always say, Martin Luther King taught us a long time ago, you can't cast out darkness with darkness. So we have to actually transcend and release with love. And in that, the universe grants us even more unconditional love and more love. We become more abundant because of it. All right, I'm going to leave that there, Virgo. You let me know how you resonated with this one. And Merry Christmas Eve. I'm going to try and be on later. I'm going to dinner, but when I come home, if it's not too late, I'm going to do a video. Um, if it's, I don't know what time I'm getting home. I'm leaving at 5, so I can't envision that I would be somewhere for 5 hours or 10 hours. So, but one never knows. But hopefully I'll be on later on tonight. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.